At the edge of the universe, where time and light stretch into infinity, NASA's instruments gaze into the unknown, into a silence so ancient it almost feels alive. Every flicker of distant light captured by the Webb telescope carries a story, a whisper from a time when galaxies were still learning to form, when the universe itself was a child of chaos and fire. What NASA sees in that darkness is not just the past. It's the blueprint of everything that has ever existed, including us. When we look at these cosmic images, we're not just seeing stars, we're seeing the universe remembering its own birth. Every pixel of light is a fossil of creation, preserved in radiation that has been traveling toward us for nearly 14 billion years. NASA's telescopes have become time machines, not through fiction, but through physics. They show us how light bends, how space folds, and how gravity writes poetry across the void. But what lies beyond that edge, beyond what even our most powerful telescopes can see? That question has haunted astronomers for generations. Some say there is nothing, just endless emptiness. Others believe that beyond the observable boundary, there may be regions of space so distant that light from them will never reach us, forever separated by the universe's own expansion. NASA's discoveries suggest something profound. The edge we see is not truly an edge at all. It's a limit of perception, a cosmic horizon, beyond which space continues endlessly. Every time NASA pushes that boundary, the universe grows larger, not only in distance, but in meaning. Each new image captured is a reminder that knowledge itself expands like space. The more we learn, the more mystery appears. The James Webb Space Telescope, with its golden mirrors and infrared eyes, has revealed galaxies so ancient and massive that they defy our models of cosmic evolution. They shouldn't exist, and yet there they are, shining defiantly from the dawn of time. These discoveries force scientists to question everything we thought we knew about how the cosmos formed. Did gravity behave differently in the early universe? Did stars ignite sooner than we believed? Or are we missing an even deeper truth, one that hides in the fabric of space-time itself? This is what keeps NASA awake at night, not just data, but meaning. Each observation is a puzzle piece in a grand cosmic mosaic that stretches far beyond our comprehension. The further we look, the more the universe begins to look back, a mirror reflecting our curiosity, our persistence, and our longing to understand. And it's in those moments of revelation, when light billions of years old meets the lenses of NASA's telescopes, that humanity touches eternity. We become more than observers. We become participants in the great unfolding story of existence. Because every image captured, every equation written, and every theory tested is not just science, it's connection. It's proof that we belong to something infinitely larger than ourselves. The universe isn't silent. It speaks through radiation, through gravity waves, through the faint glow of galaxies that no longer exist. NASA listens patiently, reverently, translating those whispers into understanding. And with each new discovery, we take one small step closer to the edge of everything we know, standing between the seen and the unseen. So if the mysteries of space make you wonder, if they remind you how vast and beautiful our universe truly is, then don't just watch from afar. Become part of the journey. Subscribe to KnowYourSky, where every question brings you closer to the infinite. Because the cosmos isn't done speaking, and together we'll keep listening. As NASA pushes deeper into the cosmic abyss, the boundaries between science and philosophy begin to blur. The further we look, the older the light becomes, until it touches a time when matter itself was uncertain, and existence trembled on the edge of creation. The data streaming back from deep space isn't just information, it's revelation. Each photon is an ancient traveler, a messenger from the beginning of everything, carrying secrets of how time and structure first took shape. When the James Webb telescope captured its first deep field, scientists stared in silence. Thousands of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, crowded into a single frame, packed so tightly they seemed to touch. What Webb revealed wasn't emptiness but abundance, an overwhelming density of creation that shattered all expectations. The early universe, once thought to be dark and quiet, turned out to be alive with light and motion. But along with wonder came confusion. These early galaxies appeared too mature, too complex for their age. According to our best models, there simply hadn't been enough time for such massive structures to form. It was as if the universe had accelerated its own timeline, rewriting its origin story before our eyes. Some scientists began to wonder, were our calculations wrong? Or was there something hidden in the very laws of physics that we had yet to understand? In these questions lies the heart of NASA's mission, not just to observe, but to reimagine. Every discovery is both an answer and a challenge. Each anomaly forces us to look deeper, to accept that certainty in science is only temporary. What we call knowledge is simply a bridge, one that constantly shifts as we move toward greater understanding. The further Webb peers into space, the more we realize that the universe behaves like a vast illusion, predictable in its mathematics, yet endlessly surprising in its form. Space bends, time stretches, and light curves around invisible masses of dark matter that outweigh visible matter by a ratio of 5:1. We cannot see it, but we can feel its pull, shaping galaxies, bending gravity, guiding the structure of everything. NASA's instruments have mapped the traces of this unseen architecture, the cosmic web that holds the universe together like threads of glass. Where we see darkness, there are filaments of energy, stretching for millions of light years, connecting galaxies like neurons in a cosmic brain. In those connections lies a strange familiarity, as if the universe is thinking, creating patterns that echo the very way consciousness forms. And yet, even as we uncover these wonders, we remain surrounded by mystery. For every discovery, 10 new questions arise. What is dark matter really made of? Why does the universe expand faster and faster, driven by something we call dark energy? A force so strange we can barely define it. NASA's greatest minds work tirelessly, measuring faint signals, refining models, chasing after whispers of truth that seem to fade as soon as they are found. The paradox is beautiful. The more we learn, the less we know. And that is exactly what keeps us searching. The cosmos isn't a puzzle to be solved. It's a story to be experienced. Each generation writes its chapter, leaving behind instruments that extend the reach of human curiosity just a little further into the dark. For NASA, this pursuit is more than exploration. It's a promise that no distance is too vast, no mystery too deep for human imagination to chase. And as the Webb telescope continues to collect light older than any civilization, it reminds us of something profound. We are not outsiders to the universe. We are its latest expression, stardust that learned to wonder. If this vision of discovery inspires you, if you feel that same pull toward the unknown, then you are already part of this cosmic journey. Subscribe to KnowYourSky and keep your eyes on the stars, because the universe is still writing its story, and the next chapter begins with us, in the quiet darkness between galaxies. Where human senses fail, NASA listens. It listens not with ears, but with instruments so sensitive they can detect the faintest tremors of existence. gravitational waves rippling through the fabric of space-time itself. These waves are distortions, echoes of cataclysmic events that happened millions or even billions of years ago. The collision of black holes, the birth of neutron stars, the fall of suns into eternal night. Each signal captured is a heartbeat of the cosmos, proof that space is not empty but alive with motion. When those waves reach Earth, they are unimaginably small, a fraction of the width of an atom. Yet within them lies the story of destruction and rebirth. Through them, NASA can reconstruct events that occurred long before humanity existed. They allow us to hear the universe not as light, but as sound, vibrations of gravity that hum across eternity. For the first time, we are not just seeing the universe, we are listening to it breathe. These discoveries expand more than science. They expand our sense of self, because as we map the rhythm of creation, we find that it mirrors our own heartbeat. The universe pulses with life, with energy, with endless cycles of transformation. And in that rhythm, we discover that everything, galaxies, stars, planets, and people, moves to the same cosmic music. NASA's pursuit of understanding isn't limited to what we can see or hear. It also reaches into what we can only imagine, the theoretical, the invisible, the almost impossible. The question that lingers, one that haunts every astrophysicist, is whether we are alone. Are we the only form of awareness that has ever looked into this vast expanse and asked why? Or are there others, civilizations scattered like sparks, waiting to be discovered across the sea of stars? The search for life beyond Earth has evolved from speculation to science. With missions scanning exoplanets orbiting distant suns, NASA has identified worlds that could harbor oceans, atmospheres, and the building blocks of biology. These planets exist in what's called the habitable zone, regions where temperatures are just right for liquid water, the elixir of life. Yet, even as these discoveries grow, no definitive signal has yet reached us. Silence, vast and persistent, still dominates the void. But perhaps that silence means something profound. Maybe it tells us that intelligent life is rare, a fragile phenomenon, brief and precious. Or maybe it means that we've only just begun listening, that the universe's message hasn't yet arrived. After all, radio waves take time to travel, and in cosmic terms, we've only been broadcasting for a blink of an eye. The night sky could still be filled with answers waiting to reach us. What drives NASA isn't certainty, but hope. The same hope that led our ancestors to look up at the stars and wonder what lies beyond the dark. Every mission, from the Voyager probes to the James Webb telescope, carries that hope into the unknown. Those spacecraft are not just machines. They are messages. They tell the cosmos that we are here, that we are listening, and that we long to understand. It's this longing that defines us. We are beings built from the dust of exploded stars, powered by sunlight, and guided by curiosity. To look into the cosmos is to look into our own reflection, a reminder that the atoms in our bodies once burned in ancient suns. When NASA studies the universe, it isn't studying something foreign, it's studying home. And that's why the quest never ends, because every image, every signal, every discovery is another piece of the universe remembering itself through us. So if you believe that wonder is humanity's greatest gift, if the stars awaken something in you that words can't explain, then become part of this journey. Subscribe to KnowYourSky and keep your gaze on the infinite, because the story of the universe is still unfolding, and you are part of its next chapter. The universe is not still. It moves, expands, and evolves in silence so vast that even light struggles to keep up. NASA's instruments have revealed that space itself is stretching, driven by a mysterious force known as dark energy. It is invisible, undetectable directly, and yet it dominates everything, shaping the destiny of galaxies and time itself. No one knows what it truly is, only that it pushes the universe apart, faster and faster, as if creation itself is still unfolding, refusing to rest. This discovery shattered one of humanity's oldest assumptions, that the cosmos might eventually slow down, collapse, and begin again. Instead, it is accelerating, expanding endlessly towards something we can barely imagine. An infinite, growing emptiness. Galaxies that are visible today will someday drift so far away that their light will never reach us again. The stars we see tonight are not just ancient, they are vanishing, one by one, from the observable sky. The night, as NASA has revealed, is slowly consuming itself. And yet, there is a strange beauty in that realization. The universe is not dying, it is transforming. Each moment of expansion creates new possibilities, new space, and perhaps new worlds that we'll never know we existed. What NASA sees in its telescopes is not just the past, but the future, a cosmic horizon of what will be, written in light. For scientists, this is both humbling and inspiring. To understand dark energy is to understand fate itself. The ultimate question of what will happen to everything. Will the galaxies drift apart forever, their stars cooling into darkness? Or will the laws of physics bend again, reshaping the universe in ways we cannot yet conceive? Every piece of data NASA collects brings us closer, but also reminds us how far we have left to go. Because each mystery we solve leads to another, deeper one. The universe seems to hide its truths behind paradoxes, clues wrapped in contradictions. The moment we think we understand, the cosmos changes the rules. And so, scientists keep watching. They trace the flickers of light that reveal how galaxies spin, how matter warps under gravity's hand. They listen for the echoes of the Big Bang, faint ripples of energy still vibrating through the void, the sound of creation itself. These signals, collected through decades of work, tell a single story, that everything is connected. From the smallest atom to the largest supercluster, all of it moves within the same cosmic rhythm, obeying laws written before time began. NASA's telescopes have turned the sky into a map of memory. Each dot of light is an archive, storing billions of years of history. To study it is to travel through time, to witness the formation of galaxies, the birth of stars, and the death of suns. But beyond the data and equations, there's a deeper truth that NASA's explorers understand. This is not just science, it's communion. It's a dialogue between the finite and the infinite, between curiosity and creation. When we stare at the cosmos, we aren't just observing, we're participating. Our awareness gives the universe a witness, a way to know itself, and maybe that's the greatest discovery of all. That we, the observers, are part of the story we're trying to understand. The expansion of space might one day separate galaxies beyond our reach, but the light they've already sent will always remain, imprinted in the background of existence. That light, faint but eternal, is proof that nothing truly disappears. Every photon carries memory. Every moment, however fleeting, leaves its mark. And perhaps that's what NASA has really found. Not just galaxies and stars, but the persistence of being. The idea that even in the face of infinite distance and time, something always remains. So if this journey through the expanding universe stirs your curiosity, if it makes you feel the fragile beauty of existence, take a moment to subscribe to Know Your Sky, where every discovery brings you closer to the edge of the unknown and beyond. If the expanding universe tells us where we're going, then the ancient light tells us where we've been. NASA's greatest achievement has been its ability to read that light, to translate photons into history. Through the study of cosmic background radiation, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, scientists have seen the first moments of creation frozen in time. That light is older than stars, older than galaxies, older even than the concept of form. It is the echo of the moment when energy became matter, when the universe itself opened its eyes. Captured by satellites like COBE, WMAP, and Planck, this radiation forms a map of the infant universe, a pattern of ripples, each representing fluctuations in density that would eventually grow into galaxies. NASA's instruments have shown us that the cosmos began not with order, but with imperfection. And it's because of those tiny irregularities, those initial asymmetries, that anything exists at all. Without them, the universe would have been uniform, a featureless fog of energy with no stars, no planets, no life. In other words, imperfection was creation's greatest gift. Those faint ripples stretching across the sky are the fingerprints of everything that has ever happened. They tell us how the universe expanded, how matter gathered, how structure emerged from chaos. They are, in a sense, the first memory of existence. And yet, even as NASA maps them in exquisite detail, new questions arise. What came before the Big Bang? What existed before time began to flow? Some physicists suggest that the Big Bang wasn't a beginning at all, but a transition. The rebirth of a previous universe collapsing into itself, creating the one we know. Others propose that our universe is just one bubble among countless others, floating in a vast multiverse where different realities play out side by side. NASA's observations can't yet prove these theories, but they hint at something larger, a cosmic framework beyond imagination. In that vastness, meaning becomes a matter of perspective. To some, the universe is indifferent, an endless expanse governed only by physics. But to others, including many who gaze through NASA's instruments, it feels alive. Not conscious in the way we are, but aware in the sense that it evolves, adapts, and creates. Every law of nature seems perfectly tuned for complexity to emerge, as though existence itself wanted to be seen. When we consider how precise these laws are, how gravity, electromagnetism, and quantum forces balance with exquisite harmony, we find ourselves facing a paradox. If the universe were even slightly different, life as we know it couldn't exist. Was this balance the result of chance, or is there something deeper guiding it? A hidden order beneath apparent chaos? For NASA scientists, these are not spiritual questions, but scientific ones that touch the edge of philosophy. The data does not give belief, it gives wonder. The more we measure, the more we find that the universe is fine-tuned not for simplicity, but for beauty. It's written in mathematics, painted in light, and sung through gravity. Every star that burns is a verse in a cosmic song, a melody older than memory. And yet, within all that vastness, there is us, fragile beings capable of reflection, of curiosity, of awe. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not why the universe exists, but why we do. How could particles born in the chaos of the Big Bang organize themselves into minds that now ask about the meaning of it all? That, more than any black hole or galaxy, is NASA's most profound discovery. That consciousness is the universe turned inward. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are its way of seeing itself. So if these thoughts awaken something within you, if they remind you that you are made of the same light you see in the stars, take a moment to subscribe to KnowYourSky, where science meets soul and where the universe speaks through every story we tell. As NASA peers deeper into the ancient light, it begins to uncover something stranger still. The universe may not be what it seems. Beneath the vast galaxies and radiant nebulae, reality itself appears woven from patterns of information. The equations of physics suggest that everything we experience, matter, energy, even time, might be expressions of a deeper code, a kind of cosmic architecture where space is not an empty stage, but part of the performance. At the smallest scales, quantum mechanics replaces certainty with possibility. Particles flicker in and out of existence, appearing only when observed, as though the act of looking helps shape reality. It's as if the universe needs awareness to complete its picture. NASA's work, in a strange way, becomes part of this dance, a cosmic dialogue between the observer and the observed. The telescopes are not just tools, they are bridges between mind and matter, between thought and the infinite. Some scientists call this idea the holographic principle, the suggestion that the universe may be like a vast projection, where every piece of information on the surface encodes what's inside. In this view, even black holes, those monstrous collapses of matter, could be cosmic libraries, storing everything that falls into them as patterns of information written on their boundaries. It's a theory both humbling and exhilarating. If true, it would mean that nothing ever truly disappears. Everything, every star, every thought remains preserved, transformed, and eternal. NASA's telescopes, like Webb and Hubble before it, gather light that has been traveling since the dawn of time, and yet that light behaves as if it remembers every place it's been. It bends around gravity, stretches with expansion, and carries within it the signature of creation itself. In studying it, we are studying memory, the universe remembering its own story through the language of light. This realization changes how we see everything. Suddenly, distance loses its meaning. Time becomes elastic. The boundaries between out there and in here start to dissolve. What we call reality becomes a conversation, one that has been happening for 14 billion years, between the cosmos and consciousness. And perhaps that's what draws us to explore. Each NASA mission is more than a quest for data. It's a pilgrimage. The scientists who devote their lives to studying space are not just researchers, they are translators of the unknown. They turn silence into knowledge, darkness into revelation. In their work, humanity's ancient instinct to look upward finds its highest expression. But there is also humility in their pursuit. For every answer, there are infinite questions. The more the data grows, the more mysterious it all becomes. The universe seems to tease us, giving just enough clarity to keep us searching, but never revealing everything. It's as if it wants to be known, but only through effort, patience, and wonder. In that pursuit, NASA becomes a mirror for all of humanity, a reminder of what makes us extraordinary. We are small, but we ask infinite questions. We are brief, but we reach for eternity. We are fragile, but our curiosity is indestructible. Every new image sent back from space, every spiral galaxy, every shadow of a black hole, is proof that we have already transcended our limits. From a single planet orbiting a single star, we have managed to see the edges of everything. And yet, perhaps the greatest revelation is not what lies beyond those edges, but what lies within us. Because in every question we ask, the universe hears its own echo. In every wonder we feel, creation recognizes itself. So if this journey moves you, if you feel that pull to look up and listen to what the stars are saying, take a moment to subscribe to Know Your Sky. Because together, we'll keep reaching for the light, not just to understand the universe, but to remember that we've always been part of it. There's a moment, when NASA's data comes in, after the silence, after the hum of machines, when numbers turn into awe, what begins as streams of raw information transforms into images of galaxies, stars, and worlds beyond imagination. In that instant, what was once invisible becomes real. It's a reminder that science is not cold logic, but a form of revelation. Through NASA's eyes, the universe confesses its secrets, one wavelength at a time. Each photograph from deep space is more than an image. It's a translation of time. Those colors, the golden nebulae, the crimson arcs of dying stars, are frequencies shifted by the universe's own expansion. When we look at them, we are seeing not how things are, but how they were. Every point of light is a moment billions of years gone, preserved like ancient art across the vault of space. To gaze upon them is to stand at the intersection of memory and eternity. And yet, the deeper NASA looks, the stranger the cosmos becomes. Some regions defy explanation. Vast voids with no stars, no galaxies, nothing but faint radiation drifting through endless dark. Others, like quasars, shine brighter than entire galaxies, powered by supermassive black holes devouring matter at the centers of creation. The scale is beyond comprehension. Beauty and violence intertwined in a cosmic dance that never ends. In studying these extremes, NASA isn't just cataloging phenomena, it's rewriting our place in the story. We once thought of ourselves as living near the center of everything, but the truth is far more humbling and far more magnificent. We are a flicker in an ocean of infinity, yet somehow capable of perceiving the whole. That awareness, that ability to ask questions that reach across galaxies, is itself the universe's most astonishing creation. Black holes, for example, have long been symbols of destruction. Cosmic traps where everything falls and nothing escapes. But NASA's research reveals something different. These regions may be portals of transformation. When matter collapses under gravity's weight, information doesn't vanish. It changes, it hides, encoded within the event horizon, preserved in ways we don't yet understand. The laws of physics bend, but they do not break. Even in death, the universe remembers. This idea connects everything, from the stars that burn to the minds that wonder about them. Every end leads to a beginning. The carbon in our bodies was forged in stars that lived, died, and exploded billions of years ago. When we breathe, we are literally inhaling stardust. NASA's work doesn't just tell us how the universe works, it tells us who we are. We are not visitors to creation, we are its continuation. And maybe that's why the search never stops. Because every time NASA sends another telescope into orbit, or another probe beyond the planets, it's not just exploring space, it's fulfilling an ancient instinct. The desire to understand, to reach, to see what's beyond the next horizon. That drive is the heartbeat of our species. It's easy to forget that these discoveries come from a small world orbiting an ordinary star. From this single dot of dust, humanity has mapped the structure of the cosmos, traced the afterglow of creation, and heard the vibrations of colliding black holes. We have seen the edge of everything, and found that it only leads to more. Perhaps that's the greatest truth NASA has uncovered. That the universe has no real edge. It folds endlessly, curving back upon itself in a geometry of time and energy. The horizon keeps moving because we keep moving toward it. And in doing so, we become part of its story. Explorers made of atoms that once burned in forgotten stars, now searching for their origins among the heavens. If this endless search fills you with wonder, if the thought of infinity makes you feel both small and infinite, then you belong here. Subscribe to KnowYourSky, and let's continue the journey together, exploring not just space, but the miracle of existence itself. As NASA's instruments stretch their vision farther than ever before, something profound becomes clear. The deeper we explore, the more we realize that the universe is not simply out there. It's within us too. The same forces shaping distant galaxies are the ones that govern the atoms in our bodies. The same equations that describe the orbit of planets also define the rhythm of our hearts. The cosmos doesn't just surround us. It sustains us, connects us, defines us. This truth is both scientific and spiritual. It means that every discovery NASA makes is, in a sense, self-discovery. When we study a star's light spectrum, we're studying the elements we're made of. When we observe the birth of a galaxy, we're glimpsing our own beginnings. The universe isn't an abstract concept. It's our origin story, written in light. Through missions like Voyager, Hubble, and James Webb, NASA has gathered evidence that time itself is not as linear as we imagine. What we call the past still exists in the faint radiation left behind. What we call the future may already be encoded in the quantum patterns of space. Every particle carries a record of its journey. Nothing truly disappears. The cosmos keeps its memories in the language of physics, and NASA has become its translator. Voyager, still drifting through interstellar space decades after launch, continues to send faint signals home. Whispers from the void. It has traveled so far that sunlight takes over 20 hours to reach it. Yet, within that distance, humanity's message endures. A golden record, carrying sounds of life on Earth. Music, laughter, greetings in dozens of languages. It's more than an artifact. It's a promise that even in the vast silence of space, we will continue to speak. Hubble, before handing the torch to Webb, transformed our understanding of the cosmos. It revealed not just beauty, but truth, that the universe is dynamic, restless, and endlessly creative. It showed us that galaxies collide, merge, and give birth to new forms, that stars die, only to scatter the ingredients of life. In those images, NASA didn't just capture color, it captured time, transformation, and continuity. And now, Webb sees even deeper, past dust, past illusion, into the earliest epochs of existence. Its infrared gaze pierces through the cosmic veil to witness the first stars that ever burned. Each image it sends back feels like a dream. Not because it's unreal, but because it's too vast for the mind to contain. In its golden mirrors, we are reflected, the children of light looking back at the light that made us. But as technology advances, NASA faces a paradox. The more clearly we see the universe, the harder it becomes to define what we're seeing. Are we uncovering reality, or creating it through observation? At the quantum level, reality seems to depend on interaction. Nothing exists fully until it is measured. That means every discovery we make doesn't just reveal the universe. It completes it in some small way. In that sense, NASA's telescopes are like cosmic mirrors, reflecting the human desire to understand, the longing to belong to something greater. Every lens, every sensor, every signal reaching back across billions of years is part of a conversation between matter and meaning. And through it all, one idea remains constant. We are connected. The same atoms that shine in distant suns now flow through our veins. The same energy that drives supernova fuels the thoughts behind our eyes. We are the cosmos made conscious, the part of the universe that asks why. If you feel that connection, that quiet, unexplainable wonder when you look at the stars, then you already understand what NASA is teaching us. Take a moment to subscribe to KnowYourSky, where every question is a doorway to the infinite, and every story reminds us that the universe isn't just around us, it's within us. At the farthest edge of perception, where light becomes faint and silence grows endless, NASA's search continues. Each signal captured by its telescopes and probes is a bridge across time, a message written in the oldest language of all, energy. To study that energy is to listen to the heartbeat of the cosmos, steady and eternal, echoing through dimensions we can barely imagine. But as NASA collects more data, another mystery unfolds, one that turns our understanding of reality inside out. The universe, vast and incomprehensible, appears to be perfectly balanced on a razor's edge. If gravity had been just slightly stronger at the Big Bang, everything would have collapsed into itself. If it had been weaker, matter would have scattered, never forming stars or galaxies. Somehow, the laws of physics align with precision so delicate that it seems intentional, as if the cosmos were tuned for awareness. Scientists call this the fine-tuning problem, but to many, it feels more like an invitation, a hint that consciousness and the universe are intertwined. NASA doesn't claim to know why this balance exists, but its work reveals how astonishingly improbable our existence truly is. Every atom, every photon, every breath we take is the result of cosmic perfection balanced against impossible odds. When the James Webb telescope peers deep into that perfection, it finds chaos. Galaxies colliding, stars exploding, space torn by gravity's pull. Yet from that chaos, order always emerges. That's the paradox of existence. Destruction gives birth to beauty. The death of one star becomes the life of countless others. The ashes of ancient suns become the seeds of new worlds. NASA's mission is to document that eternal cycle, not to explain it away, but to honor its complexity. Because in the end, understanding doesn't diminish wonder, it deepens it. The more we know about the mechanisms of the universe, the more miraculous they become. Every equation is a hymn, every discovery, a form of gratitude. And maybe that's why space exploration resonates so deeply with us. It's not just about looking outward, it's about remembering inward. When astronauts float beyond Earth's atmosphere and gaze upon our planet, they describe a phenomenon known as the overview effect. From that distance, borders disappear, conflicts fade, and what remains is unity. One world, one fragile oasis suspended in the void. NASA's work reminds us that perspective is everything. We spend our lives chasing meaning across galaxies, only to find it reflected in our own blue home. Yet, as breathtaking as our world is, NASA knows it won't last forever. Stars will burn out, galaxies will drift apart. Time will carry everything toward entropy, the quiet end of structure. But even that ending carries beauty, because in the ashes of one universe may lie the spark of another. Perhaps creation is not a single event, but an infinite rhythm, a cosmic heartbeat that never stops, only changes form. For those who work in NASA's laboratories and control rooms, this isn't just theory, it's faith in discovery. Not blind belief, but trust in curiosity itself. Every mission is a declaration that knowledge is worth pursuing, even when it humbles us, especially when it humbles us. And that's the message that carries across every wavelength, every image, every whisper from deep space, that to seek understanding is to celebrate existence. That curiosity is the most human form of courage. If that spirit speaks to you, if the idea of an infinite, mysterious, interconnected universe fills you with both awe and peace, then join this journey. Subscribe to KnowYourSky, where science becomes story, and every mystery is an invitation to see the universe through new eyes. At the end of every NASA mission, after the instruments fall silent and the data has been gathered, there comes a moment of stillness, a quiet realization that all we've seen, all we've measured, has only deepened the mystery. The universe does not reveal itself in full. It offers glimpses, fragments, echoes. And yet in those fragments, we find everything. What NASA has seen at the edge of the universe is not an ending. It's a reflection. The further we look, the more the cosmos begins to resemble us. Galaxies spiral like the neurons in our brains. The web of dark matter mirrors the structure of our thoughts. It's as if the universe is both map and mirror, showing us that consciousness and creation are part of the same story. We are not apart from the universe. We are expressions of it, made of the same dust, bound by the same light. Every beam of radiation that travels across billions of light years eventually finds a home in awareness. The act of looking transforms observation into connection. NASA's telescopes may be mechanical, but their purpose is profoundly human: to ask questions that cannot be fully answered, to listen to the silence that speaks of eternity. As we reach the edge of the observable universe, we also reach the edge of understanding. Beyond that, light fades into infrared, then into microwave, then into nothing our eyes can see. But maybe that's the point. The limits of perception aren't barriers, they're invitations. The universe asks us to imagine, to create, to dream beyond what can be measured. That too is exploration. What NASA truly discovered wasn't just the birth of galaxies or the curvature of time, it was the persistence of wonder. Even in a universe that will one day fade into darkness, that wonder remains. It is the light that doesn't dim. It's what drives us to build telescopes, to launch spacecraft, to reach for distant stars, knowing we'll never touch them. Wonder is the universe becoming aware of itself through us. And that awareness, fragile, fleeting, human, may be the most extraordinary phenomenon of all. In the cosmic scale, we are a breath, a blink, a brief pattern of energy. But in that briefness, we have found meaning. We have built machines that can see the first light of creation. We have named the stars, charted the galaxies, and sent our voices beyond the solar wind. We have learned that the universe is not cold. It's alive with the memory of everything that has ever been. NASA's journey is our own. It's the story of a species that refused to stop asking questions. From ancient stargazers to modern astrophysicists, from myths of creation to equations of gravity. It's all part of the same longing: to know, to connect, to belong. So when we speak of the edge of everything, we're really speaking about the edge of ourselves, the horizon of our understanding, the point where curiosity meets infinity. That's where NASA stands now, gazing into the dark, listening for what comes next. And maybe, just maybe, the universe is listening back. So the next time you look at the night sky, remember this: the light you see has traveled across billions of years to find you. You are part of that story. Not just a spectator, but a continuation of the same cosmic journey. And if that thought fills you with awe, then let it remind you that the universe's greatest discovery is you, the small fragment of infinity capable of wonder. Join this journey, be part of the story. Subscribe to Know Your Sky, where curiosity never ends, and where every glance toward the stars is a reminder that the edge of everything is only the beginning.